Good morning, Hartsville Pike family and friends. Adam Vaughn with the Central Church of Christ in Paducah, Kentucky, sends out daily emails, devotionals, and I always love what Adam has to say, and he does a great job with that. He shared one recently that I wanted to share with you, and we're going to entitle this Judging Like Jesus Would Judge. Judging is difficult because it requires a balance, and most of us are not good at balance. We tend to go to one extreme or another, and it's the same way with judging. Some people think the loving thing to do is you just don't make any judgments at all, but in fact they're making a judgment in making that statement. There are others who are really quick to judge about anything. An example of that occurred recently, as Adam notes in the story, and this happened in Nova Scotia in Canada. There was the pandemic, COVID-19 restrictions were going on, and no one was to be eating inside restaurants. There was to be no in-person dining. But the local police got a tip that someone was violating that restriction. They gave the location, the name of the restaurant, and they felt it was their duty to turn this restaurant and this person in for what they thought was a clear violation of pandemic guidelines. The police did their job, they responded, they came to the scene, but they didn't arrest anyone and they didn't give any citations. The reason? The person, quote unquote, sitting in the restaurant, the criminal, was a mannequin. The mannequin was sitting in a booth, but that's the only human like quality it had. It would have been real easy for that person who turned them in to kind of get closer to the window to investigate a little bit more and to realize that that's not really a person before they turn them in. But how often are we to be quick to make a snap judgment of others before even doing just a casual investigation? We must realize we may not always have the facts. So, does that mean we should never do any judging and that we should just avoid all judgment so that we don't get in trouble making snap judgments? What did Jesus say? Matthew 7:1 does begin by saying, "Judge not." But that's not all Jesus had to say on the matter. You have to read the other verses there, verses 1 through 5, to see everything that he said in this section. He says, "Judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that's in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that's in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when there is the log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will be able to see clearly how to take the speck out of your brother's eye." Jesus' point here was not to avoid any type of judgments. Judgments are a necessary part of life, including making judgments about people. In Matthew 7:16, Jesus said, "You will recognize them by their fruits." That requires a judgment. But what Jesus was saying is this: be careful when and how you judge, because number one, again, you may not have all the facts. And number two, you're going to face judgment also. If you're hypercritical, don't be surprised when people are hypercritical toward you. If you're not patient and thoughtful in judging, then don't expect people to be patient and thoughtful in making their judgments of you. Yes, we're going to have to make judgments in this life, but let's make sure that we judge like Jesus would. Remember, God does love you today, and because He does, let's make it a wonderful day.